Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the greatest moment in human history, the moment when eternity shifts, could pass you by? That millions of Christians, even those who believe they are ready, might actually miss it entirely. Today, we're diving deep into the startling truth. 5 reasons most Christians will miss the rapture, and how you can ensure you're not one of them. Because here's the raw, unfiltered truth: your spiritual future depends not on what you believe, but on how you live every single day. This isn't about religion, it's about a radical, life-changing relationship with Jesus Christ. A relationship that demands discipline, urgency, and authenticity. So, why do so many believers stand on the sidelines when the moment of divine glory unfolds? Let's uncover the hidden dangers that threaten your spiritual readiness and how to overcome them. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever stopped to wonder how many moments of your life have slipped by unnoticed? Moments that could have been life-altering, eternity-shaping, simply because you settled for comfort. Think about it. How often do we go through our days on autopilot, believing that just knowing about faith is enough, that attending church, ticking the boxes, and reciting the prayers somehow make us ready for what's to come? But what if I told you that this routine, this complacency, could be the very thing that blinds you when the most critical moment hits? You see, many Christians live with a false sense of security, wrapped in the illusion that because they believe in Jesus, they're automatically prepared. But belief without passion, without pursuit, is like having a map, but never opening it. It's like owning a powerful weapon, but never learning how to use it. And when the divine moment arrives, when eternity is on the line, you might find yourself standing there, unprepared, because somewhere along the way, you settled into comfort instead of conquest. Let's be brutally honest. Life is full of distractions. The world's noise is deafening, pulling us into a whirlwind of superficial success, fleeting pleasures, and social validation. We tell ourselves, I'll get serious about my faith tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, then next year, and suddenly, years have passed. Meanwhile, the soul that longs for true connection with God is left starving, waiting for a moment that might never come if we don't wake up now. Because deep down, we know that the Spirit isn't meant for complacency. It's meant for resilience, for relentless pursuit, for a passionate, fiery love that refuses to be extinguished. And here's the truth: this isn't just about religion. It's about your self-worth. It's about recognizing that you are more than just a believer. You are a warrior, called to stand firm in faith, to live with purpose, to embrace a success mindset rooted in divine truth. But that begins with awakening from the sleep of routine and daring to pursue a relationship that transforms, heals, and elevates you to new heights of resilience. Because if we settle for mediocrity in our walk with Christ, we risk missing the divine details, the whispers of His love, the breakthroughs of His power that could have changed everything. And the question remains, how many of us are truly awake? How many are still just going through the motions, unaware of the divine opportunities slipping through our fingers? Because the real challenge isn't just believing. It's about waking up, staying alert, and fighting every day for a faith that's alive, personal, and unstoppable. Have you ever considered what it truly takes to stand firm when the storm hits? When the world around you is shaking, and everything you once believed is tested to its core, are you prepared? Or are you walking into that moment with a fragile faith, weakened by neglect? It's easy to believe that trusting in Jesus is enough. But what if I told you that small, daily choices, those quiet moments of prayer, study, and obedience, are the very foundation of your spiritual resilience? That neglecting these essentials can leave you vulnerable, unsteady, and unprepared for divine change when it arrives. Think about it. Life is a relentless teacher. It pushes us, challenges our faith, and tests our endurance. But resilience isn't something you're born with. It's built, crafted through consistent discipline. When you wake up each day and prioritize prayer, you're strengthening your connection to divine power. When you dive into the Word, you're fueling your mind with truth that combats doubt. When you choose obedience over comfort, you're forging a steel-like spirit that can withstand anything. Yet, so many believers overlook these vital daily rituals, believing that faith is a one-time decision, a quick prayer, or a Sunday routine. But faith isn't a fleeting moment. It's a lifestyle, a daily commitment to growth, healing, and divine transformation. And here's the truth that often goes unnoticed. Neglecting personal discipline is like building a house on a shaky foundation. It may look solid on the outside, but when the winds of adversity blow, when divine appointments come knocking, you'll find your spiritual resilience crumbling. Without the consistency of prayer and study, your heart becomes vulnerable to deception, doubt, and fear. You might know about God, but do you truly know Him? Do you walk in obedience, or have you become complacent, thinking faith will carry you through without effort? The reality is, success in the spiritual journey, true resilience and unwavering faith, demands intentional discipline. It's about cultivating a heart that seeks Him first and foremost, a mind that is rooted in His Word, and a spirit that obeys even when it's inconvenient. Because when divine change comes, when a moment of divine breakthrough appears, you need more than just surface-level belief. You need a heart prepared through daily sacrifice, unwavering obedience, and relentless pursuit of divine truth. But the question remains, will you continue to neglect this vital discipline? Or will you rise today, committed to building a resilient spirit, ready for whatever divine moment God has in store? Have you ever paused to ask yourself what truly captures your heart? Is it the fleeting glow of social praise, the shiny allure of material possessions, or the intoxicating rush of worldly pleasures? Because if we're honest, how many of us have allowed these things to drown out the gentle whisper of God's voice? It's so easy to get caught up in the relentless pursuit of success, status, and comfort, believing that these are the ultimate markers of worth. But what if I told you that this attachment, the obsession with what's temporary, could be blinding you to the divine work happening right now? That by anchoring your soul in worldly things, you might be unknowingly closing the door to divine opportunities. Think about it. Life is a constant collision of distractions. Every notification, every social media scroll, every desire for more. These are the silent thieves stealing your focus from what truly matters. And in the chaos of accumulating possessions or chasing social validation, it becomes easier to miss the subtle, yet powerful, movements of God. You see, when your heart is anchored in worldly attachments, your spiritual vision becomes blurry. You stop hearing His voice, and instead, you start responding to the noise of the world. That's how we become blind to divine breakthroughs, to the healing and divine interventions that are happening all around us. We become so preoccupied with appearances and possessions that we overlook the real treasure: His presence, His power, His divine timing. But here's the truth: the more attached we are to worldly things, the more we risk losing sight of our true worth. We forget that our identity isn't rooted in possessions or social status, but in divine love and purpose. When we chase after fleeting pleasures, our resilience weakens and our faith begins to waver. We convince ourselves that happiness is found in what we own or how many followers we have, but what we truly need is to realign our hearts and minds, reminding ourselves that success is rooted in spiritual resilience, in a faith that endures beyond temporary highs. The challenge is clear: will you let worldly attachments drown out God's voice? Or will you choose to disconnect from the superficial and reconnect with divine truth? Because divine work is happening right now, hidden in the quiet moments, in the unseen victories, in the stillness where faith is forged. The question is, are you tuned in enough to hear it? Or are you still caught in the noise? Have you ever stopped to wonder if you're truly prepared for the moment that could change everything? That instant when eternity collides with time, when divine intervention could be at your doorstep. Are you ready? Or are you living with a sense of complacency, postponing the very act of spiritual readiness until tomorrow, next week, or someday? Because what if the most critical moment of your life, the moment you've been waiting for, arrives unexpectedly? Will you be caught off guard, unshaken in your faith, or will you be standing firm, resilient, and fully aligned with divine purpose? Many of us go through life with a dangerous sense of complacency, convincing ourselves that there's always time to get right with God, to deepen our faith, to strengthen our resolve. But life doesn't operate on our timetable. Divine urgency isn't something we can afford to ignore. It's a call to wake up, an invitation to live each day with a heightened awareness that spiritual preparedness isn't optional, it's essential. The failure to recognize the importance of readiness can cause believers to miss the most transformative moment of their existence. The moment of divine revelation, divine rescue, divine awakening. And that's a reality that leaves many hearts unfulfilled, souls unprepared, and faith untested. Think about it. How often do you find yourself distracted by the business of life, pushing aside prayer and reflection, convincing yourself that you'll get to it later? But what if later is too late? What if divine timing is knocking now, right this very moment? The difference between those who thrive in resilience and faith and those who falter is often their sense of urgency. An inner knowing that divine encounters are fleeting and must be seized with intentionality. Postponement isn't just a delay, it's a risk. Risking the divine moment slipping through your fingers, risking missing the opportunity for divine healing, divine breakthrough, divine transformation. You see, success in faith and life isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about recognizing the current moment as divine. It's about cultivating a success mindset rooted in spiritual resilience, knowing that readiness isn't a one-time event, but a daily pursuit. The question is, are you living with a sense of divine urgency, or are you still waiting for a sign? Because divine work is happening now, hidden in the quiet whispers of your heart, waiting for you to awaken to its call. The real question is, are you prepared enough to recognize it? Have you ever wondered if your spiritual life is truly built on something unshakable? Do you find comfort in the routines of religion, the Sunday service, the prayers, the rituals, without pausing to ask if there's real intimacy behind those acts? Because there's a dangerous illusion we often fall into, the false sense of security that comes from simply going through the motions, appearing devout, ticking boxes on a spiritual checklist. But what if these outward displays are masking a deeper emptiness? What if relying solely on religious routines gives us a distorted sense of preparedness, leaving us blind to the true connection that Jesus longs to have with us? It's so easy to get caught up in appearances, to think that because we attend church, recite prayers, or follow religious traditions, we're automatically ready for His return. But true faith isn't about the outward show. It's about authentic intimacy with Jesus. Without that personal, heartfelt relationship, we risk living in a spiritual illusion, believing we're secure while neglecting the core of what it means to truly follow Him. This false security can lull us into a complacency that blinds us to the deeper work of healing and transformation that only genuine connection can bring. It's a subtle trap, thinking that external acts are enough, when in reality, they're just a shadow of the true relationship we're called to nurture. The truth is, Jesus wants more than our routines. He desires our hearts, our vulnerability, our authentic pursuit of His presence. And when we rely solely on religious appearances, we're setting ourselves up for a shock, an awakening to find that our spiritual armor isn't as sturdy as we believed. The danger is in believing that a spiritual facade can replace intimacy, because on the day of His return, superficiality won't cut it. Only a deep, resilient relationship rooted in faith, trust, and genuine love will prepare us for that divine moment. Ask yourself, are you cultivating more than just religious routines? Are you seeking a relationship that heals, restores, and builds resilience in your spirit? Because the journey to true spiritual preparedness isn't about perfection or appearances. It's about authenticity and divine intimacy. And the more we lean into that, the more we develop a success mindset grounded in real worth, knowing that true readiness comes from the depths of our connection with Jesus. The real question is, are you willing to go beyond the surface, to truly meet Him where He longs to be found?